Longview Economic Development Corporation has been dealing with a dilemma for several years. They haven't had large lots available to attract big industries. KLTV 7's Jamey Boyum is showing us how a purchase of more than 1,100 acres north of Highway 80 and Reeves Road will change all of that.
LEDCO CEO Wayne Mansfield takes a look at what will become the Bar K Business Park.
We had been looking and studying where do we go, where are our next steps, and we've been doing that for the past 4 to 6 years.
They've been dealing with a shortage of acreage.
Currently in our Longview Business Park, I only have 34 acres that can be developed existing, and then in the North Business Park about 130 acres remaining.
And the acreage is split into more than one tract.
They're small tracts, 10 to 15 acres scattered here and there.
And one 40-acre tract. But the 1,165-acre purchase will put LEDCO back in the competitive market.
Acquiring this property gives us opportunity to be in the discussion for site consultants or companies that are looking for 50, 100, 500 acres.
The land is presently undeveloped.
I think one small tract is fairly wooded, but for the most part it's pasture land.
They still have a lot of design work to do.
Regarding utilities, how do we provide utilities there? We have had some preliminary discussions with SWEPCO regarding power.
But the purchase of this much land is a huge first step.
Probably from Dallas toward Louisiana, I don't know of any tract in existence or any park that would have that much property contiguous like we have.
Jamey Boyum, KLTV 7 News.
That deal was finalized last week. Development is planned to begin late this year. We'll keep you updated.